Yeah, welcome. I'm Brett Papa, and today we got a freaking treat. Rob is in the house. This is Rob McNelley. You're one of the cats, dude. One of the Nashville session men.
One of many.
And it's been about like 3 years since I could get him back in the loop. And the blessing in disguise in this whole thing is that now you can actually have time to do something.
Yeah. It's a lot of sitting around going,
right?
What am I going to do?
That's gotta be.
So I was glad you called.
That's kind of gotta be like a Brett, not in a. Obviously, it's a horrible situation, but like you're so freaking busy. It must have been nice to breathe a little bit, like.
Well, it was for the first couple weeks.
Yeah,
and then, but you know, I mean, I can work from home. I've been able to work from home, so people started sending me tracks to play on. And, you know, and things like that.
Which we'll show you guys here in a little bit, because Rob, you got a new spot, and it's. I got a
new spot, and yeah, we'll go over there and do some filming over there and show it to y'all. And
you see all his toys.
Yeah,
you gear freaks out there, you're gonna love Rob.
Oh yeah, we'll have some fun.
We brought some stuff here today, so we'll show you that too. But anyways, so today is it's kind of what you do for real, right? We got a chord progression, and he's gonna walk us through from hook creation to basically we're gonna pretend that somebody came in with a strummed guitar part. Yeah. And then what you would do in a session, right? To accompany an acoustic player.
Yeah, right.
Or whatever.
Yeah. It's coming up with all the parts needed in the electric guitar department.
Yes. So you got some toys. We'll show people that here.
Okay.
Do you, on a song like this, just right out of the bat, like, are you hearing something in your head like this needs simple, verse needs?
Well, yeah, like the intro piece was part of the music. Yeah. So you know, it's more on the ballad side. It's more on it's a slow moving song. It's not a big rock thing or whatever.
God dang it.
So, yeah, I know. Well, we'll get to that.
You know. Okay.
Yeah, right.
So wait, let's play him the verse part, and then this is actually the hook part too, right? The intro.
Yeah. So yeah, like the intro, you just want to grab somebody with something melodic off the top, or a cool sound, anything that makes this song identifiable immediately.
So you're a singer.
Yeah.
You got his band's killer, by the way. I'll leave his stuff down below, but. Is it just like you hear it in your head? Like it's like, are you like something you would hum or?
Yeah, I try to come up with things that you would sing.
Yeah.
That's, you know, and being a singer does help, but I mean, you know, horn players figure this out, you know, you gotta leave room to breathe.
Yeah.
A lot of times that's just as important as where you play. So you just kind of try and come up with something that anybody could feel like they could sing.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Being a singer, is there a singer who you can think of that kind of trained you how to hear guitar licks more? You know what I mean? Like, is there a style of like a singer that you really like, and it's like, oh, this kind of influenced how I come up with stuff? You know, I mean, because singing, like, I guess when it comes to a hook creation, like you're able to just hum something right off the bat in your head, and then it comes out. So obviously that's part of the equation, right? You gotta hum and figure stuff out, but like. Singer-wise, has it influenced you that way? Like actually, like a vocal?
You know. I mean, I love singers like Etta James and stuff like, you know, like maybe like blues singers or jazz singers or whatever. But in this kind of music, it's actually the opposite way around. Like one thing that always grabbed me about like someone like George Harrison is like the singing would happen, and then the solo might come along, and they play the melody.
Yeah.
And so that's where I made that connection. Yeah. It was not necessarily through the singing, but hearing the guitar play what the singer just sang.
Right.
It was like, oh man, okay, there's a relationship there.
Yeah.
And, you know, and definitely in pop music, we like things that are familiar within the song. So if you can kind of stick kind of close to a melody, a lot of times that actually really works and puts the song over the edge, you know.
So on a session, you obviously have heard the song or the demo of the song before, right? Is that typically how it works? Or?
Well, you'll hear it at the session.
Yeah, like, no, that's what I mean. Like, they'll play it for you. Here's what the song kind of sounds like. And then you guys, so you've had a chance to like, hear through it a little bit.
You've heard it one time.
Right. No, but I mean, but when you're talking about the vocal melody.
Right,
like okay, this is what the vocal is doing.
like that's a really important thing that happens on the session when we're all listening to the song for the first time. We all have our number chart in hand,
I'll show you the chart for this song.
Yeah, and like we listen down to like just a work tape, which can be anything from just an acoustic guitar and a vocal, or sometimes they'll have like a pretty flushed out production going on. But yeah, you just kind of, that's a really important time of the session for you to check out like all the melodic movement that's going on in the chorus, the verses, you know, because you can pick up a lot of like common notes to maybe try and stick into a hook part or something, you know, that'll
Stuff
fit
to stay
the
away
song.
from too, I would imagine too.
And sometimes, you know, you want to stay away from the note that if they're singing, one note keeps showing up all the time when they're singing. Maybe you don't want to play that note because you'll get, you know, hated by the end of those 3 minutes, you know.
Okay, so our chord progression basically is going to be G to C to start. So that's like where you would do your hook. So it basically the intro and the verse are the same.
Oh yeah, in this instance, and in a lot of instances, you know, like the intro sometimes mirrors what the verse is, or you know.
It's like 100% of the time in country music.
Well, probably.
You know, it's funny. I've taught so many songs back in the day of country, and like you just sense what's coming. You know what I mean? And I guess I would imagine that happens to you too, like in any genre.
Yeah, I mean,
too, but.
You know, fortunately for pop music's sake, that's probably a good thing. But unfortunately for a musician, you know, you kind of wish that they would come up with some new chords.
There we go. Well, see, they did it in the 80s.
Check out some new chords.
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's so much great pop music in the past that was really smart and had all kinds of stuff going on that harmonically that you wouldn't necessarily think about until you had to learn the song.
Yeah.
You know?
Then you're like, what the
They were brilliant at making things very complicated and intellectual music sound very simple and easy to do.
Well, some of those we're getting off on a rant. Sorry. Some of those chord progressions in the 80s songs that I'd have to learn, I'm like, the chorus and the verse, they have nothing, seems like, to do with each other.
They took more chances, I'd say. All up until probably, I don't know, somewhere in the mid-2000s, it feels like they forgot all of the other chords.
Okay, so
that's enough of that. Anyway,
so 1 to 4 is just
So that's kind of the feel of the song, you know. So keep playing that, and I'll come up with a hook. Okay, so this is coming, you know. So 3. So like
simple as that, huh?
Well, I mean, that's one way you could go. Like that was very singable to me.
Okay, yeah, no, it totally was.
Right? And here's what makes it singable to me. Like the first two phrases rhythmically are exactly the same. Like you got, you know, 3, 4. You know, and so they're played the same, but they just fit over the first two chords. Like you play the phrase over the one chord, and then you play the same rhythmic.
So you're picking
motif.
notes out of each chord, basically.
Right, kind of, yeah. So it's I stick that 6 in there, yo. I even tried to get it like where you bend. You're even doing the bend in the same place. That makes that second phrase feel just like the first one.
Okay.
Because you could go, you know, you could bend, not bend, but that's not as hooky.
Yeah, no, it's
all
not.
Of a sudden.
That's funny. Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So the phrases, mirroring a phrase rhythmically is a good tool to use.
Okay.
And making those familiar notes happen a couple of times, that helps. Now, another thing we could have done, because that intro is 4 bars, and they're slow bars, meaning that you count them slow. 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's an entire bar.
Okay.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So 4-bar phrase at that tempo that you're counting slow, you know, some people might have the tendency to just go, oh, okay, well, here's the hook. You know, and then just repeat it.
Oh, right.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now I chose to go off for the back half of the phrase.
Okay.
And make something else even just as singable.
Yeah.
But change it up because I think you're going to hear this. A lot of times this hook will come back around after the first chorus for a turnaround.
Yeah.
And then again at the outro. And if it's that same, just the first two phrases over and over again.
Yeah, it's too much.
You're going to shoot that guy. you're gonna be like,
something different.
dude, give us something.
Yeah.
So, I mean, so I tried to go somewhere, colorful.
Okay. So if you're going to give them 3 things to hook making, and this is you do a lot. This is kind of one of your things, right? Like in
yeah,
hook maker.
If you're going to be a session player, that's more important than almost anything you do musically.
How do you start practicing for that? Like, how do you start? Would you just play random chord progressions and then try to like you know what I mean? Obviously, there's God-given talent or whatever you want to say. Like, people come in that are just they got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
but if somebody wants to, maybe somebody doesn't aspire to be a session guitar player, but they want to write something kind of creative. Like, what's a way that you can start working on making hooks? I mean, are you just listening to a bunch of songs?
Well, for me, it was about my record collection.
Okay.
I mean, I came about it because, I listened to so much music, and these were the things that that drew me in. Is like, a guitar solo is always cool. A really good guitar solo is always fun to listen to, but to me, it was like I would, if I walked away singing the guitar part that they played in the intro or something like that, I would run and try and figure that out.
Okay.
Like, okay, what was that? And I would learn how to play that. And so, I mean, imagine chord progression. I mean, when I would be driving around just in my car, I'd turn off the radio and just imagine the chord progression of the song I just heard and like come up with like 3 other things that I might have played on it.
Okay. So you can hear
in my head.
You can hear all that in your head.
Because it had, I mean, for me, I didn't have to have a guitar in my hands to do it, but I mean, sit around and get a looper pedal and just come up with a chord progression and just come up with simple phrases over all those chords.
So would you just recommend having the loop play and then just humming something and trying to figure it out?
Yeah, that'd be a great way. That I would tell anybody to do that. I mean, nobody's going to judge you on your vocal talent. It's not about how well you can sing, but if you can come up with play something on guitar that sounded like the way you would want to hear a singer sing it.
Yeah.
You're on to something.
Well, I mean, I can totally relate to that. Even yesterday, I recorded a lesson, and I was just showing a basic concept, and I listened to it, and I'm like, that's not like. And I went back this morning. I'm like, it's too busy. Like, it needs to be simpler and like more room, more space. I think a lot of people are afraid to leave space or hang on something. It's like we were talking. Like, it's actually really hard to play slow. And
it actually is. Well, because you got to really rely on the feel of it.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, when people are listening to whatever the music is, it's all about the feel of the entire thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, and that can range from like a really thought out, perfect production to a really sloppy executed production that's just off the cuff, but whatever music is there to make you feel something.
Yeah.
So you just got to really think like, how can I make this feel right?
Yeah.
And that, sometimes the wrong notes feel right, and you don't know why, they just do.
They just work.
Or
it's like a good tension or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so once you've got your hook, right?
Yeah.
Let's show them what you did, just so in case they want to play.
So the 4-bar thing. Okay. 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I might have played it subtly different, but that's generally pretty much what it is.
Okay.
And I mean, I decided to start on the 3rd of the chord, the G.
That's over there.
So that's up there at the 12th fret on the B string.
Okay.
And then the same string on the 15th fret up to the 5th of the chord. So did you hear how I put that breath in there? I stopped the note, That really set up the ability to like, those first 2 notes are kind of, short notes, which allowed you to kind of like create a bend maybe that laid back a little more
Yeah,
lazy.
give you some space to do it.
So you can really feel that bend. And then, you know, you could just go up and do that on the neck, on the high E string, same exact positioning if you want. I don't know why I did that. I probably wouldn't do that if I did it again. But so that's the first part, right? Now that to me was a really interesting hooky part of this phrase where you're not bending right up to the note. I'm thinking of it as two notes. Ba-na,
Okay.
right?
Yeah.
Mute it. Back to a sweet bend.
Dude, that's crazy. Okay,
See what I
wait.
mean?
So yeah, no, that's amazing. Like,
Like you would sing that.
you would totally take that.
Ba-na, down, down.
You totally take those nuances for granted. I think when you hear it, you know,
Yeah,
until somebody explains it to you, like that.
Yeah. All those things are so important.
Oh my
I
God.
mean,
Okay,
all
so
the great. It's all the phrasing is where you leave space and how you cut notes off is very important.
Okay.
If you analyze everybody famous, I mean, you could just go down the entire Beatles catalog to study that.
Yeah.
You know, there's so many instances of it just in that one band. But, you know.
You guys all love the Beatles.
Well, yeah.
I think every session person I've ever talked to, like, Beatles.
Well, they innovated so many things from the writing to what they did in the studio. I mean, this has been covered a million times. You guys know this, hopefully. And if you don't know this, and if you don't like the Beatles, get your head out of your ass and go find out about it. Get a clear perspective. Just wipe any preconceived thing you think about the Beatles and go back into it with a fresh start, because there really is an amazing encyclopedia of what you can do in music that just becomes infectious music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
Well, and they're masters of what you're talking about.
they are. I mean, you know, and there's many before them and after them that have either learned a lot from them or taught them what, you know, helped them put together those pieces. I mean, you know, it goes all the way after that. You know?
You know, the very interesting thing about the Beatles, too, is their catalog is so diverse, and you get to see how they put their spin on every genre of music.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? It's still identifiably them, even though it may be a blues song or a pop song.
Right,
or, you know what I mean? They still have
Absolutely.
that, which is pretty not easy to do.
Absolutely. It's just, you know, there's just a lot there that you should spend some time at least really digging into and trying to learn from, because you know, they kind of obviously changed everything, and there's still a lot of the reason why music is important.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's timeless. I mean, it's still going.
It still applies.
Yeah. Okay, so we got the hook covered.
Yeah.
Now,
So
out of the hook, like, just in your example, what did you hear coming out of the hook? Like, okay, now this needs...
So getting into the verse?
Yeah.
Okay, so like, the verse continued on with that same strumming pattern and chords, you know.
Okay.
See, so dynamically, what you may want to do in a song like this, that's more of a ballad, you would just lay back for a little bit. And I know you hear that on a lot of country records, but what makes that effective, you actually hear that a lot in a lot of places.
Yeah.
It's not just country music, but you want to lay back, because now the singer's going to come in, and usually in a song like this or any song, they're coming in with something that the audience really needs to hear to get them into what's the song going to be about.
Okay.
So lyrically, the best thing you can do is just kind of you know, lay back with a little bit of color. Diamond, you know, just softly diamond through, lighten up your touch, or whatever. Oh, diamond is like when you just kind of play the chord, strum the chord, and let it ring. You aren't doing any kind of
because I would be the Joe strummer, right? I'd be
So that's really nice, you know. So that's kind of like the role of an acoustic guitar, or sometimes the other electric guitar.
Okay.
So you just kind of want to drop it down so that the vocal has room later in the mix, really, to stand out, and so people can hear what the lyrics are.
So would you lay out for the first couple passes?
It depends on the vocal phrasing, and it depends on the arc of the song dynamically. So let's say that your verse was 4 bars, so it's as long as the intro. So maybe on the back half, maybe I would come in with some kind of color. Like this is where the verse starts. We don't have a singer here with words. So
you can sing.
Well, I don't have any words.
Beer, truck, whiskey.
Yeah.
You got it.
Yeah, I've been up for 3 days. Leave me alone. Okay?
Here we go.
All right. 2, 3, verse, go. So. So that, like, let's say the verse was that long.
What'd you do?
Like I just put some reverb on.
Okay.
So it would wash out a little bit.
Yeah, right. So you're not drawing attention to your part. It's kind of still in the background.
Yeah, and I just created some color because we're in this thing. We're gonna go to a pre-chorus.
Okay, what was it?
Well, yeah. So I think it was
Oh, is that like a? Is that first one like a?
It's like a
inversion of a G.
It's like if you know how you can move a D chord up the neck and So what I did is I just played off of that kind of position, but I added that 9 in there instead of.
Awesome.
Right. So when I went there, so 5th fret G string, you got your C, right? And then you got still holding your G on the what is that? That's cool. 8th fret.
Yeah.
So the first one was, and then I just went down.
Oh, so it's so you're hitting the root of the C.
The C.
So you're barring that.
And then
you
with my pinky on the 8th fret on the B string, you got the G, and then
That's cool.
And then it's just an interesting voicing. I was trying to come up with something that's harmonically interesting, right? Yeah. So in my mind, I mean, I guess this kind of puts a little bit of a major 7 feel on that. It's not that hard,
Yeah.
Yeah. And with that little bit of reverb washing it out a little bit. It
okay,
just
do it one more
makes
time
sound nice.
with the chords.
3, 4. Right?
Yeah. Okay.
Now if you notice, like when after I kind of move the neck around a little bit. Like if I did that with a Bigsby, it might be cool. But if you don't want it that drastic, because sometimes when people are singing, if something's wobbling around too much, it can affect the singer a little bit, you know. But if you get just the hair of this nice modulation ringing out over the reverb.
A little chorus.
Yeah, it's just kind of and you can be a little. You can do it through the whole thing, or just when the notes are ringing out at the end of each phrase. Just another little trick.
Wait, try it both ways. So I'll play it, do it at the end, and then do it.
Okay, all right. 3, 4. Okay, now. Both are really nice, but it's just like this subtle thing. Like if it's just a subtle trick that works on any guitar. You just start moving it around a little bit, and the tuning is going up and down just enough to give it like a little bit of...
It's like a natural chorus.
Like a natural, yeah. Especially if you got a little bit of verb on there or a delay or any kind of washy sound like that, you know... I don't know. It's just it's something I notice all of us session players. I just started picking up on that.
Yeah.
That everybody kind of does that, and when you got headphones on, these things, you hear what's happening to the tone as a result that much more. And it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
that's
I'm going to
cool,
do that.
That really does add to the sweetness of it.
Well, and I would imagine too, going back to even hook creation. I mean, you're in it so much with so many freaking mind-blowing players that it has to rub off on you. Like
Thankfully it rubs off on me. Thankfully it did. Or some of it did. Right. I mean, I'm sure there's always lots left to learn.
Well, you know, it's interesting though, but even in that world, you're one of the guys that, for me, and just playing with, a number of you in town, you still have your own sound, though. It's interesting, like you have a certain way, and I can hear on the radio. I can almost like pick people out now because I've watched them play. Right. I'm like, oh, okay, I know who that is. You know?
Yeah.
But it's and then sometimes it's just like, oh, that's the right part, but I can't tell who it is.
Yeah. You know, I've heard myself on recordings and wondered if they replaced me at times and just played my part.
Right.
Like, you know, because that can happen. I mean, later when you get down into the mixing phase, they can be like, oh, I love that part, but I just don't. I wish the tone was a little different. And if you're working for somebody like Dan Huff or any of these, a lot of producers are really good guitar players. They can just, okay, well, let me just sit down and change the tone and do that part now because we've added other things and now that doesn't fit sonically or whatever. And so sometimes I always assume they replace me, but I'll find out later. No, that was you, you know, and you just got some direction that day that like, okay, that's really cool, but do it with less personality.
Yeah.
And I mean everything everything we all of us play with a certain amount of personality.
Yeah.
But you need to be able to tame that back and sound like it could just be anybody that knows how to play guitar.
Right.
And I've heard myself in recordings where I'm like, wow, that's what I played, but my gosh, it doesn't sound like me at all.
Yeah.
But it served the song that way better than if I'd have really put my personality in there. It would have made them listen too much to the guitar part instead of the vocalist, you know.
No pressure playing for Dan Huff.
Oh man. Well, you know,
real slouch on guitar. He's just like, what on earth is up with that dude?
Well, I'll tell you what's up with that guy. He is a freak on guitar and musically, and I mean, he hears everything.
Yeah.
And at first, that can be a little daunting to go and do.
Yeah.
But he's such a great guy.
Yeah.
And he does a really good job of making you feel like you can go for it.
Yeah.
And at first, you know, you're thinking, well, I don't want to sound, you know, bad, so I don't want to go for things unless I know they work. But no, he understands, and he's done it a million times and done it for so long that he knows that the most inspiring stuff comes out of you just feeling free.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can be daunting to work for somebody like that, but a really, really good producer knows that they have to capture energy.
Yeah. Well, and they've been in your shoes too, which helps.
Yeah, I mean, and when you get around somebody like that a little bit more, you find out that they're human.
Yeah.
Like they'll you know.
He actually doesn't play right parts sometimes.
Well, I've never heard him not play anything that didn't sound perfect, but or like it really belonged there. But I know that he'll keep searching. Yeah. So like, even at his level, he's still, you know, going, that was almost what I wanted to do. Yeah. I'm going to try it this way now. You know, that's cool. So when you see somebody doing that, you know that you've got the freedom to do that too. And he's fun to be around, and he you know,
yeah. Okay, so if we went into verse into pre-chorus, then how do you change up the dynamics?
Okay, so like a lot of times the pre-chorus needs a notch up in energy or just more information.
Okay.
So let's say, well, we haven't played the pre-chorus yet, have we? Really?
You want to do verse into pre-chorus?
Yeah. So we'll show you like the chords change a little bit, you know. So let's do. Yeah, I guess we should do the whole verse. Yeah. Okay. All right. So start over. This is the beginning, the verse. The intro just happened, and your mind is blown, but now the singer's coming back in.
You're still pummeled by that awesome hook.
Oh, dude, the hook just totally made you spend your dollar.
All right, ready?
All right. So 3, 4.
So you did it.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, right there at the end. And I didn't execute what I want to do. Let's play that pre-chorus again.
See, you're stretching out.
Here we go.
This is
Take
exactly
2.
like a session.
Take
Here
2,
we go.
right? 3, 4. Oh. Okay, let's try that pre again. 3, just go right to the pre.
Okay.
3, 4. Okay, so there were a couple different thoughts there.
Okay.
Like I kind of pushed when we did that, the chords were D, right? Mm-hmm. E minor, 4, D, 4, C, right? So when we had that, what we call a split bar, where you're playing 2 chords in one bar, I pushed with what I was doing against you being straight.
Okay.
Which I was imagining, like, I don't know what the singer would be singing, but sometimes that's a cool thing to do. So
you go in early?
Like you push on to a chord ahead of, you kind of lead the band to a chord with an arpeggio or something.
Oh, interesting. Okay, do that one more time.
3, 4. I didn't push. You did. Hang on.
Hang on.
You did something really cool there, but let's do that one more time.
Okay.
3, 4. Right? Right. So when I went then, yeah. Like you were playing, I pushed into that C chord, Sometimes that's cool to do, It's like I like things like that where it's not exactly so blocky,
Right.
And the time before where I messed it up, you went with me, which was awesome,
right. It's interesting when Tim would talk about that all the time too. Like it creates a bounce or something to the
right,
because you're not like what you're saying. It's not all together. It creates a different kind of a movement.
Yeah,
which is cool.
Sus.
Okay, so break down what that is though.
Okay, so you're on your D chord, right? So you get this rolling thing going. Some people do it with, you can do it with your fingers and pick, but I was doing it with pick.
That's cool. Okay,
right?
So that's
you've got your E minor 7th kind of shape, like It's all over the top strings, the movement is. Not clean.
It happens to you. Yes!
It totally happens to me. And it's happened to me today a lot. But so it's just that simple, like, rolling pattern. That's your picking hand. It's just from high to low on the top 3 strings.
Got it.
It's just changing that one, you know, note, leading it to the 4 chord.
Okay. And then what was the back half?
Back to that sus.
Okay, so you did traditional C. That's got to be interesting because I know some guys would play that one, so you'd have those 2.
Well, a lot of times I'll look around if I think if it seems like that's what the acoustic guy is going to do.
Yeah.
I'll hit the traditional C against him a lot of times.
So you're checking out the whole room while you're playing too.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what inversions are they using. I'll play just the straight chord.
Yeah.
So that their color notes kind of sound. They jump out a little bit more.
Okay.
But then also sometimes, like right there, right before we went into that chorus, we just hit a big diamond. So sometimes it's good for everybody to just hit the definitive C chord because it sounds really resolved for the next section to come in, you know.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
So I don't think a lot of people think a lot of people don't even listen to what other people are playing when they're in a band situation, but actually like having the discipline to look and anticipate what other people are doing too has got to be an art all of its own too.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you a lot of times that's what first takes are for.
Yeah.
You kind of listen, you might have your part together and everybody kind of usually has 80% of what they're going to do on the track. So when you pick up on little things that so-and-so is doing over here against this over here, you got to figure out, like, sometimes you got to really thin out your voicing because, on a chord, like maybe just just play root and fifth.
Oh, right.
Like because maybe somebody's going to do some fancy movement on the piano or something like that, and you don't want to be playing all these notes that are going to clash with what they're doing. So when you hear, you just really got to pay attention to what everybody's doing. In my headphone mix, I try to have everybody up, so that I can hear everything that's going to happen. That's
such a trip. I mean, that in and of itself, that's like a whole different paradigm, you know what I mean? Because a lot of players, they're so used to just playing by themselves, or in a band where, maybe it's a cover band and everyone's just going for it, you know what I mean? I guess that's the big difference, right? I mean, a lot of, and being able to do that on the fly, because a lot of people, you see them in town and it's like, God, they're staggeringly good guitar players, but maybe they're never going to be somebody like you. Maybe they're a road guy, and it's like they come in, or you're both, but like maybe they come in and they can copy parts well, but actually knowing that whole how to create that space and that all in the moment, you know what I mean? I think it really separates a lot of people from.
I've noticed there's a lot of players that you can tell they're really great and they really have a lot of stuff under their fingers and all that. But there's a whole other side. If you want to make that jump into doing sessions, you not only have to have great technique, you also really need to know how to play in the context of a hit song or something that that comes, I believe, from studying all your favorite records. Yeah. And even your not favorite records.
Yeah. Well, I would imagine, right? You guys have to do anything.
Yeah, you got to go listen to, like, wow, that was a huge song back in 1993 or something. Yeah. Like, what made that song so great, And what are all the parts on that song, like, from your instrument, but you got to listen to all the instruments and how it all works together and why the guitar player chose to do what he did it's always based on what else was going on, A lot of times people hear these records and they're like, well, what's so great about the guitar playing on that or whatever. But the reason that all of this is great is because it's like there's no one ingredient that stands out way too much and conflicts with all the other things that are happening. You know, you just gotta.
Yeah, that is shown really well, I think, in Rick Beato's channel, like what makes this song great.
I've watched some of that, and that guy's really good at breaking that stuff down.
Well, and he was doing like, I like a lot of them, but he did an Alanis Morissette song, You Ought to Know, or whatever that song is,
Okay,
that huge hit she had. And he started pulling out, guitars and bass, and like you start hearing these things and you're like, man, I never heard that, but now that it's, been pointed out to you, it's like that's part of the thing that makes it like wow, because it sounds like a pop song. It doesn't sound like there's anything fancy going on, per se. But when you start seeing the inversions that they're using, and it's like wow, okay,
there's a lot of times like my favorite thing is finding inversions of chords that are against the acoustic and the keys.
Okay, like
trying to find one note that'll make all that interesting, or somewhere else in the neck to play it than your traditional places.
Sure.
Because I'm trying to what I'm trying to make happen there is that all three of us sound like one instrument together. It's sort of like a horn section.
Oh, interesting.
Like where each person is only playing one note, but it all sounds like one chord, and that's how I envision these things. I don't know. Sometimes you hear the mix back, and they turned one of us up too loud, or something, or louder than they should be, and it doesn't sound that way. But I'm always envisioning like I want them to not know where the B3 ends and where the guitar starts, or where the acoustic, where all three of those elements are what they're each individually doing so much as what they're doing with each other.
Together. Interesting. So you're like full-blown listening to the whole thing.
Well, I'm trying.
Yeah.
There's probably players in town that would say I don't. Or don't know what the hell I'm doing over there.
Right. Okay, so let's do verse, pre-chorus into chorus, and then show them that whole tree.
Verse, pre-chorus, chorus.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, so back to the verse. 2, 3, 4.
Oops, sorry, let me turn on my guitar.
Oh, the Bluetooth wasn't working on his Telecaster. 3, 4. Right?
It's so funny listening to myself play with you. I can hear, it's funny, the strumming, I can hear myself lag on upstrokes now more. You know what I mean? Like, it's because you take for granted, I play with, friends or whatever. And, sometimes guys like you come over, but like you really see how tight your guys' rhythm playing is.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like, now that I'm playing with somebody who does it for a living, you understand, oh, wait a minute. I can hear where I'm off.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, there's a lot of different ways to fill the pocket.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe it doesn't necessarily mean that either one of us are off. We're just hitting it in slightly different spots of the pocket.
Yeah.
Right. But you sound great. I mean, your strumming is really good. I mean,
no, it's interesting though, but like just, I guess maybe from a perspective of doing it by myself, but when I hear it, like what you're talking about, having to listen to everybody, like it's like, oh, okay. I see right now exactly what he's talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Like, because I'm concentrating on just doing the thing, right? Not necessarily listening to this is what Rob's doing too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's fair. I get it now.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Good. We're getting somewhere.
Exactly.
All right.
So Obviously, a lot more sparse in your playing.
Yeah. So okay, like you're building up to the chorus being. Most of the time, people want the chorus to really be the big statement, right? Because that's the biggest hooky part of the song, or should be. If we ever heard of it, it's gonna be.
Now, is this in your mind big open sounding chorus?
So yeah, it was really really important to me. In a thing like this, just instinctively, it felt like both of us should be real strong on the downbeat of the chorus. So like you were strumming, right? Which is your job.
Okay.
And then so I'm kind of doing a hybrid of strumming and like an arpeggiated pattern in the chorus, right? To give it strength for both of us.
Yeah.
Like so I think I was going like right? Okay, so that's the back half of the chorus. I'd like to talk about that as something different, but like every time we hit the new chord, I hit the new chord pretty strong with you, like on the downbeat of it, and then lightened up my touch for the arpeggios, like,
That in between single note stuff, man, is like, it's an art form of its own, because it's not just typical, walking down. Well, I mean, sometimes it is, right? Walking down a D chord, but like, that's another thing, like those in-between things that you guys can do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those little melody movements, Like, let's do the chorus one more time.
Okay.
And then, because you're, I'm going to stay really low, because I want them to hear more of how you're hitting it, because that's another thing. You guys there's a whole art to how you make it feel.
There
you
is.
know what I mean? And it's just like, that's...
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's cool.
I'm getting excited.
So 2, 3, 4. Right? Chorus, downbeat.
Okay, that was cool.
Right? So that was like, you go to your C chord and you keep that high G on the 3rd fret, right? On the E string.
Oh.
So that kind of jumped the phrase back to the 1 chord a little bit with that arpeggio.
What'd you call me?
Yeah, whatever. I don't care. Right? And then you go back. It's B string, 1st fret, where there's the C note. Then you're still up here on the 3rd fret on the high E. Like a hammer-on and a pull-off. Right?
Yeah.
That's what that was.
Okay.
So then, that's the first 2 times through the chorus.
Are you accentuating those notes differently, or keeping them all kind of?
The arpeggios, I think, are all the same volume. I think, but I think that the nature of the movement is making those things sound. But I'm picking them the same.
Okay.
It's just the movement is probably making certain things jump out.
Right, because some of this hammer-on.
Right. Okay. And then when we got around to the E minor section, the back half of the chorus, I broke off of the rhythm thing because I was envisioning like maybe you need some color back there. Something that won't get too offensive behind whatever they're singing, because you're just playing the root note of the chord up here. And what that is the high E ringing out against the fretted E, and you slide into it from 3rd to 5th fret on the B string. Do it again. You know, and maybe on that last chord,
Yeah.
like you just lay it in there real soft or something like that.
Real tender, like.
Yeah, real tender. Real tender.
Okay, so we got through the song. So chorus, or not chorus, solo-wise.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's got to be an interesting spot. Like, what do they just pick who does it? Like, go for it.
Sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes, you know, if there's
because you guys both don't want to like start soloing.
Yeah. If there's two guitar players, well, first of all, you're not gonna go for the solo on the tracking pass.
Yeah.
Because there's rhythm guitars happening, two rhythm guitars in a chorus. If one of them drops out to play a solo,
Right.
at your gig, that's okay
Yeah.
because you're in a loud environment.
Sure.
But on a record, if that second rhythm part drops out and the guy's taking a solo, a lot of times it feels like the energy drops.
Yeah, what happened?
So you need both those rhythm parts to
Okay.
go through. So probably whoever's going to take the solo, I don't know, maybe they don't stay real active on the rhythm part in the solo. Maybe they just hit the chords and diamond them, like what we were saying. The pre-chorus chord changes were our solo, right?
Okay. Yep.
So, you know, maybe they'll do that, you know. So there's that color of the rhythm part. I had reverb on there. I wouldn't have done that, but in the track. But
Why not?
well, you know, I don't know, because the engineer would be mad later.
So they want everything as dry as possible. So
Sometimes, yeah. I think on a lot of rhythm parts, it's usually pretty dry.
Yeah.
I think
Okay.
that's why I've gravitated towards.
Right.
Anyway, so you'll overdub the solo. You'll be playing that all on its own track outside of the performance after everybody has gotten their part.
Yeah.
So a lot of times producer might go, this sounds like a Rob thing, or if the other guitar player is, you know, whoever they are, you know, oh, this sounds like something they would do.
Yeah.
So they may say, but a lot of times we just decide between the two of us on the floor, like, oh man, you know, like one of us will just kind of have an idea maybe, and they'll go, hey, let me try this. And if it doesn't work, if you got something, try it. You know? And then it's all up to like whatever they like in the control room the best. Or they may direct you further and go, we hate both those ideas. You guys are both fired. Get out of here. My nephew's going to come in and he's going to play guitar.
Exactly.
Whatever.
He's 12, by the way.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so my favorite thing on a song like this, it doesn't rock,
Yeah.
but you don't want it to be soft.
Yeah.
So
Pretty girl with a chipped tooth.
yeah.
Okay.
Something like that.
All right.
Yeah, so I mean, you know, I like to still come up with something melodic in this instance, you know.
All right.
So,
Should we try it?
yes.
And who knows if it's even going to be the same thing you did before.
Oh my gosh.
See?
Pressure.
All right.
See, that's pressure because I really liked what I did before.
Okay. What did you do before? Do you remember it?
I remember it because I tried to play another hook.
Oh.
See, that's another thing.
Okay.
A lot of times you get a lot more mileage out of just coming up with something else that again is somewhat singable.
You're riffing off your hook.
Yeah, kind of like.
Okay.
You know, like the hook at the beginning of the song had a bendy nature, so I tried to come up with something that like would have a bendy nature but different. You know?
Yeah, because I think like
it stays in character of the song.
Well, but like we were saying before, a lot of times the guitar hook is the super memorable part of the song.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
A lot
so
of
you get all
times.
the glory, and the singer's like, that freaking Rob.
I know. Yeah.
Quit making such
Oh
good
yeah,
notes.
yeah. All these really famous, rich singers are jealous of the guitar player on their session. Anyway.
Might be. All right. So, where did we start? We did pre-chorus, right?
Yeah. So let's.
Show them again.
Okay.
Count me off, maestro.
1, 2, 3, and 4, and. You know.
Yeah.
So that's not exactly what I played, I don't think, but the main like hooky parts were, I think, the same. So you know, like there was this thing. And then it can go
so
off.
That's over
the D chord.
Oh, that makes okay. Yeah, okay. Yeah, and it's watching your notes. I'm like, oh, okay, that makes sense, right?
Yeah. So there's like the bends, you know, like the somewhat a more energetic version of what the hook is at the beginning of a song. You know, at least stylistically.
Okay.
Repeat the hook up an octave, right?
Yeah.
So that you know it's like okay. Let's think of this solo as 4 different parts: hook, cool guitar, something that's a little bit more of a solo type of thing, then back to a hook, and then answer it out with like something
lick,
that's
hook,
got yeah.
Okay.
Hook lick.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Sounds
many
like get you in
jokes right
trouble.
there. Yeah. Anyway,
you bend a lot, dude. That's interesting because that, like, you know, when you were talking about it's harder to play slow, right? It's interesting because the way that you're bending all that's not easy to do either.
no, it's
You know
not.
what I mean? Like, because I think a lot of people are just used to, like, you know, doing stuff like that, whereas like 80% of your solo is bending into another bend.
Yeah. That that probably came about. I play slide. People ask me to play slide a lot of times.
Which he's a freaking ridiculous slide player. That's coming soon.
Wow. Yeah. See, that's funny. Other people think more of my slide playing.
I'm going to
than
tell
I
the
do.
Bob Seger story one of these days. So go ahead.
Well, anyway, without having a slide on my hand, it's slide is pretty expressive. So.
There's one right there.
I developed a style. Yeah, I don't.
It was around there. So
Yeah, it was. Okay, so like.
Okay, no, wait, hold on. Wait. On the fly, real quick. Bust out the slide solo.
Oh, okay.
Hey,
all
Rob,
right.
I didn't like what you did. I need, like, maybe some slide. How about some slide?
Okay, all right. Let's do it.
All right.
2, 3, 4.
Why'd you stop?
Oh, sorry, because I want to talk.
Okay.
So, I mean, that wasn't the most greatest performance of it, but
it was great.
But here's the thing. So when I started playing slide, I just started hearing bends. Trying to incorporate bends into my playing that might be reminiscent of the slide type of thing.
Okay, see, so that makes sense because, like, how you bend and the timing that you do. I think a lot of people, they rush into bends and that like taking it really slow, like, or the pause and bringing it down, like, so that starts to make more sense. Because you're used to being able to do that on a slide too.
Yeah. You want you want to slow dance. I don't know. In a song like this, it's very useful, And I was also always a big Albert King fan. It doesn't sound like Albert King, but when you learn like some Albert King licks, you're gonna get really good at bending. That's maybe a good guy if you guys are wanting to work on what can be done with bending strings. Check out some Albert King. Check out some live footage because the notes all sound easy to get to, but when you watch, he's like bending up like 2 whole steps a lot of times and hitting a note and bend, and then releasing the bend like and hitting a note halfway in between on the way back down.
Just showing off.
In tune.
Yeah.
I mean, so yeah, I mean, between those two things, I bending is a big part of my style.
Okay. Well, and you kind of you toured in the blues circuit too for a...
Yeah. I spent a lot of time absorbing a lot of that kind of music or whatever, I mean, I don't know. I like guys that bend in creative ways or ways that you're not expecting them to.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's so many good examples through history. Like a Gilmore's like that too. Like, so good.
Perfect, example.
For rock.
Yeah,
It's called. Okay, so show us. Sorry, I'm whenever I watch you play, I'm like, okay, just detour.
Oh yeah. Sorry.
No, it's not. Don't be sorry. It's me. Okay, so focus.
No, I'm apologizing to them.
Sorry for me. Okay, so the walk through like some of the bending ideas.
Okay, so like a starter came in right on the downbeat on a bend. 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that right there. So I'm hitting the coming off of the third of the chord.
Sounds like that sus4 kind of sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
So and then I don't know what I played, but let's start the solo over again.
Okay.
3, 4. See, there's a million variations you can do in the in-between licks. And sometimes, did I do it in that time?
Or like a unison bend? Okay.
That's a classic guitar trick.
Yep.
It in something like this is very effective.
A lot of emotion.
And a lot of times you want those bends to be as in tune as possible. But then if you're going to follow it up with something a little bit more guitar, like, if you wanted to go to you can not be as worried. Maybe it has more feel to it if it's not perfectly in tune.
Well, one of the notes is in tune.
Right? One of the notes is in tune, and then creating some vibrato against it. Or it's just as effective to...
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like if you're gonna do it in tune and stay dead on the note with the bend. That wasn't dead on, but I think you get the point.
Yeah.
You can come off that bend against the other note, and create a like nice dissonance.
Yeah.
And then I went up the octave with the main hook. Right? And that's just up here, if that's your D shape. Right?
Yep. Okay.
Very easy.
Yep.
And then the rest of it was just like because we hung on the C chord an extra bar.
Yep.
So there's 2 long bars you got to fill that make to get back to that chorus, which can help you build tension. So there you can be a little busier or something like. Right.
Just comes flying out of you. Do something like that again.
Okay.
What did you do?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah. Walk us through the idea.
So when you get back down to the C, did the classic, steel guitar thing, but not like a steel guitar. Yeah. Like you could, I think it would be great to end, which I think I may have done on one of the run-throughs, but that was my favorite ending note.
Okay.
Right? But I'm just playing over a C chord, so everybody knows that move, I think. Right? So you're just bending the B string. Okay. I love, with a little bit of distortion, that bend always has these overtones. When you release the bend against the other note, it does these cool overtones. The first time I ever heard that was at the end of Working Man by Rush, when he's like...
Yeah. Like one goes up and one goes down.
You hear all these overtones, and it's just like, so anyway.
Okay, see, you and Tim Pierce do this a lot. You do a quick slide for timing. You know, I think a lot of players in the beginning versus going like, you go, and you switch positions with a quick slide.
Yeah, interesting. It is probably something that we came to early on. We actually did figure that out and worked on it.
Yeah.
I didn't realize. I didn't think about it.
No, because having to learn and editing a lot of the Tim stuff too, I was like, how's he pocketing that? And then you see him like that quick.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Because some of it didn't make sense. It's like, man, how does he do? If you heard it, it would be a big jump. You know what I mean? Like to do it this way, and you just see him.
Yeah. I think with that, the idea behind that is for me, and I would love to ask Tim what he thinks. But when you're okay, a lot of this is about the tone too. So when you feel like you're about to climb, sometimes I will try and stay on the bigger strings up the neck longer because I feel like they have a stronger tone.
Okay.
Right? When you get to the thinner strings, it can sometimes sound anemic or lose its energy tonally.
Yeah.
So I will shift to a different position to stay on those bigger strings until I have to go to the higher notes on the other strings. And when you get up into this range, like above the 12th fret, or somewhere close to the 12th fret, and you want to change to those other strings, even though they're higher, somehow I find that they sing better, so that even though they're not as fat sounding, they sing better.
Yeah.
Whereas if you change position down here, it probably would sound fine, but it just sounds more muscular.
Yeah.
What you're trying to do stands out more or something. I don't know. That's just where I arrived.
Yeah, well, and that's years of messing around with
trying things and hearing them back and going, why doesn't that sound
it should work?
Yeah, all the notes are right, everything, the phrasing's right, what am I doing wrong?
Right.
And I think I read in an interview talking about Wes Montgomery, how he would Yeah, I know. I mean,
really? Dude, how do you freaking do that with your thumb? Like, come on.
I don't know. And the power of an upstroke. There's a great guitar player here in town named Mike Seal who I've seen do. He plays a lot with his thumb, and he has that power in the upstroke of his thumb. And I've never tried to develop that, but I'm always anytime I try it, it sounds like ass.
And how many hangnails did you have to get that freaking pain?
Just
that
bleeding and sounding bad. So you look stupid and you sounded bad. No, but anyway, Wes Montgomery would do that a lot. I think where he would change positions to keep the tone right.
Okay.
Rather than just do what was all available in the position he was already in.
Yep.
Like, a lot of great players do that, but anyway, somebody pointed that out about Wes's playing, and it made sense. It was like, oh, okay, steal that. Okay. I can't play like him, so I'll just steal his philosophy. Yeah.
Whatever.
All right, I know. He's Wes Montgomery. I'm Wes Montgomery Ward. That's
Bro, what happened to Montgomery Ward? They just freaking dropped off the planet.
All those places are gone.
Yeah.
I just saw in the news today. JCPenney?
JCPenney. I think Macy's too.
Macy's. Oh, man.
This is taking a drastic left turn.
It really has. No more catalogs.
Okay, so, okay. Dude, this is like an hour and 25 minutes. So do we, the back half, like you created a lot of build up, but then like, how do you bring it on home?
Oh, well.
Because we got the last half.
Yeah. So of the solo.
Yeah.
So when we end up on that C chord, let's see. What did we do? No.
So you're building.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's go back to the C chord. 3, 4. I'm just trying to get to somewhere that sounds anthemic.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
That may have been the best one yet.
Okay.
You know, so you're gonna resolve to a G chord, a 1 chord, and I don't know. You just
so you're hitting the root.
Yeah. Well. I mean, that time I ended up on a really high 5th. You know, which some people hate high notes at the end of solos. Sometimes they're right. You know. Just now, that seemed like that might have been cool.
Yeah.
It's going to be way up out of the vocalist range.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of like what phrase and what note is going to be the most powerful to resolve to, so that when this last chorus comes in, it just sounds like we're all
off to the races,
throwing babies. You know. Man, that's
so. So it's funny because I kind of like saw that whole thing as the solo too, but it's funny that you said that that's the end of your solo, because it kind of was, and then you kind of riffed a little bit over that last chorus.
Yeah. A lot of times, once a lead guitar has come in some songs, the producer always will want you to like maybe take some licks around the vocalist in the last chorus. Okay. Just to keep that flavor in there.
Yeah. Okay, so this is kind of that vibe. Like you dropped out because the chorus came back.
Yeah, to me, the chorus was coming back, and we're in, you know, and you know, so play the last chorus.
Okay.
Right? Just something different than all the other choruses. A lot of times you'll be called on to help make the last chorus seem like another lift, another gear kicked in.
So how'd you do it? What do we got going on?
I just like you know, I just tried to play like on the ends of phrases, like without a singer here.
It's tough to
basically you're just trying not to, you know. I have this new thing. Every time they sing, I play licks. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
So
doesn't your band?
Well, that's because I can't fire me.
Exactly.
But you know, I'm just trying to imagine, like a lot of times that's on the end of a phrase. Like you have just a second to like color it a little.
So like the back half of the.
Right. Like so. You know, you could do something right in that space.
Yeah.
It could be anything. You just have to, you just want to complement whatever the vocalist is doing, you know. It could just be one note, like... you know, something that simple.
Yeah.
Something that simple. You really want to find something simple and powerful. Mm-hmm. So it's not really, you know, I mean... You could play a million things. I don't know how to break it down.
Yeah, right. No, you can't. I mean, so much of this, and we'll have to do this later in the future, is get an actual vocalist take in there so you can play off of a vocal, because it does. I mean, like it doesn't. A lot of this doesn't really. You can't see the effectiveness of it until there's that line in there to play off of. You know.
Yeah. You know, maybe we should have like some of your viewers like come up with lyrics to that.
There you go.
You know.
Send in a little vocal take.
And we own all the publishing.
We own your soul at that point. Yeah. Okay, here. I know this was, and if you guys have hung in this far, thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Rob and I are going to do a number of things. So, let me know down in the comment, or us, what you want to see him talk about. Because at your house, you got all your gear, and you can really dive into like, you know, sounds and amps and guitars and all that kind of stuff. But like, what kind of music? Because you can play lots of stuff. What's your favorite music to play?
You know, for a long time, my answer to that would be blues.
Okay, but like what style?
Because I love that. But man, you know, I don't even know anymore.
Yeah.
I I just like being a blessing. I just like adding to everybody's joy.
Yeah. So okay, what? Like what? Like
I don't know. I don't know. You know, I just think of it all as music now.
Yeah.
It's something just happened in the last couple of years. I just instead of, you know, I don't really know. There isn't anything that I like playing over another thing. You know?
You like it all.
I kind of do.
That's kind of a good spot to be in.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, he likes it all. So make your request down below.
Yeah.
You got stuff you want to tell the peeps? Well, you got a website, obviously. You got a YouTube channel too.
The YouTube channel thing, that's what I want you all to go and listen to and share. And I during the pandemic, I threw up these videos that I'd recorded before the pandemic that are songs I wrote.
What's the one with the killer midsection? There's one where you so good.
I think you're thinking of Wasted Words.
Okay, yeah.
There's Wasted Words or
it just takes
Love.
like one of these, but
Wasted Words. Yeah, check out Wasted Words. And then
what's the Well song? The Kid in the Well. I freaking love that song.
Till Then. That's so an older song. Yeah.
Oh,
well, there's a bunch of songs up on my YouTube channel. If you guys find me there, share it around. I don't care.
Yeah.
I just want to be a blessing. I just want everybody to enjoy it if you do, and send it to people that you think will enjoy it. I mean, you know, music is too fun to have around to just keep to yourself.
Yeah.
And I was waiting to release those songs, but when the pandemic kind of came around, I was just like, man, I'm not ready to release this stuff, but I'm just gonna start putting it out, you know, on my YouTube channel. And so far, everybody's been really sweet about it, and they seem to be enjoying those videos popping up every so often. So go check them out and see what you think, you know, and
it's good stuff.
Yeah, hopefully you dig it.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Of course, man.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, click the bell. Also go to Rob's channel, do the same there because you're going to be posting more on your YouTube channel now.
Yeah,
too,
yeah.
Right? Okay, so make sure you check the links below as well. And then don't forget in the comment section to let us know what you want to see in the videos coming up. And for you gear people out there, he's got tons of gear. So ask your gear questions, and you are amazing with effects. So if you guys want to know something about that whole world, any of that's fair game. All right?
Yep.
Thanks so much for watching. Catch you next time.